Well, for about a week, me and all the other Orange fans were sweating on where we were going to go bowling. There were some prognosticators that were thinking that the Orange weren't going to be in the bowls, that we were going to be left out. Well, you know, A.D. Gross and everybody must have done a good job of selling. Of course, we got fan bases all over the United States of Syracuse alumni. But you know what? It worked. We are going bowling, Orange fans. And guess what? We're going down to the place where we do everything big. Yeah, as in barbecue in 4 places in a town that has only like 1,000 people. As in going to Amarillo to have a 72-ounce ribeye and not pay for it if you can eat it and all the fixins. And also, where a bowl of chili will keep you alive for days. That's right, Orange fans. We're heading to the Lone Star State for our bowl, Texas, December 27th, in the stadium that's reliant on the bowl game, down there in good old Houston, the biggest inland port in the United States, in the aptly named Texas Bowl. And guess who our opponent's going to be? Hey, 2 weeks ago, we dispatched their basketball team out in Maui. Now, those good old rodents from the Big Ten are going to be playing us in the bowl game. That's right, Minnesota is going to be our opponent. It's going to be the Golden Gophers against the Orange. And if you want my opinion, this is going to be a low-scoring physical game. Because let's face it, Syracuse has had their offensive things at times. They've shown some flashes, but they weren't known for having a good offensive plan. Neither has Minnesota. Minnesota mainly relied on their physical defense. So let's face it, points is going to be a premium here in the Texas Bowl. But I do want to say one thing for Minnesota's coach. He has a disconcerting name, but I kind of fear for his health. I mean, who'd want to go against a coach whose last name is Kill? As in Jerry Kill. Thing is, I am concerned about his health. He has epilepsy, and several times in the last few years, he suffered grand mal seizures on the sideline, and he had to take a little leave of absence to deal with it. But now it looks as though he's got that under control. Kill definitely does have a good football mentality, and I'd like to see him get through a game without having any problems. This is going to be a big, tough football game. And you know what? It's a nice way to finish our first year in the ACC. People didn't think we were going to go bowling. At the beginning of the season, they thought Syracuse's first year in the ACC, we were only going to have 4 or 5 wins. Well, you know what? 6 wins is a bonus. We're in a bowl. I think Scott Shaper did a pretty decent job his first year at the helm. It's a good way to close it out. Let's beat those Golden Gophers. Let's come back with some good old Texas home cooking and a bowl win. And I'll also talk about something else where we had some good home cooking. 2 big home wins for our boys on the court. And I just wonder what went through that Indiana fan's mind there right near the end of the game. Hell, she knew we were beating up on the Hoosiers. The first time we played the Hoosiers on a court that wasn't a neutral court. But you know, some fan flashed a picture of an Indiana fan who had stripped down to her undies up there in the upper deck. What was she thinking? The only thing that you would do to strip down to your undies in cold weather is to find out how the wind chill is. All right, Kenny, it's 5 o'clock. Why don't you strip down, head on outside a while? Okay, man. Shoosh! It's going to be 50 below zero out here. All right, I'll write that down in the forecast. Put your clothes back on and come inside. Wait a minute, I'm going to finish eating my hamburger. I'll be right in. Boy, they say she did a little thing when the game was over where she threw it back on and got out of there. Well, you know what? I'd be caught dead doing that in the Carrier Dome. And don't even think about challenging me to do it, 'cause I'm not gonna do it. But I mean, what was she thinking? Yeah, I know her team was losing, but why did she do that? Want to invite a flash mob? Of course, our other big win was against our brethren from 70 miles down I-81. The Bearcats from Binghamton came riding up I-81 and got themselves pasted by the Orange. Even if one of Binghamton's coaches is former Orange great Lazarus Sims. And that was a nice little victory, and finally we had a non-conference opponent where we could do a little damage on. Of course, our next game is this coming Sunday against a team that was a conference opponent for over 30 years. Now they're non-conference, but the truth is they still are a big old nemesis. That's right, we go to our home away from home this coming Sunday to take on St. John's. And I kind of wonder, it kind of feels funny that St. John's is a non-conference opponent now, but hey, it's still a great rivalry. I still want to keep it going. And good old Louie is probably going to be sitting somewhere in Madison Square Garden wearing one of his trademark sweaters. Well, it will be good to see you, Mr. Carneseca. Good to see us beat the Red Storm again. And you want to know something about storms? You know what I want to do? I want to take this hat and go like that. What is it about playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that brings out the worst in the Buffalo Bills? Boy, we go down there to Raymond James Stadium, or in the past, Houlihan Stadium, and we just suck against a team that was known for suck jobs through the first 10, 15 years of their existence, albeit they came within an eyelash of the Super Bowl in 1979. Tampa Bay just seems to make the Buffalo Bills play their worst. Let's look at it. 5 times the Bills coughed up the ball. 4 times Manuel threw to a Buccaneer. And the Buccaneers definitely had their way with the Bills' offensive line. 7 times they said to Manuel, "Sit down, son." And a lot of other times they swarmed him, and Buffalo couldn't get any semblance of a running game going. Of course, certain skeptics want to say that the Bills clamped down on the Buccaneers in the second half, holding them to just 7 yards of offense. But you know what? That doesn't hold a candle when you are more given than the Salvation Army. What is with these Bills? I'm just wondering, when we return to Florida this coming Sunday to play Jacksonville, what's going to happen. Jacksonville doesn't exactly strike fear into the hearts of fans, but Jacksonville's been on a little run themselves. You think the Bills are going to win this game? If I want to be Spike Lee, I'm going to say, do you think? Sometimes I just can't wait for this Bills season to be over. I do want to give a shout out to the big thing that's coming up this weekend. Yep, it's the annual weekend 2 weeks before Christmas almost, where my hometown celebrates its heritage via Frank Capra. The It's a Wonderful Life celebration is this coming weekend here in Seneca Falls, because many people believe Frank Capra used my hometown as the basis for Bedford Falls in the movie. And I want to give a good shout out to the first family of giving here in Seneca Falls, the Sandronis. They are being honored with the George Bailey Award this Saturday. They are a good bunch. Angelo, Cougar, Tom, and all of them. The Sandronis have always been a class act, whether for the St. Anthony Festival, for the SMS, or any kind of event here in Seneca Falls. This family deserves that award. And a shout out to the 4,000 runners, and maybe more, who are going to be here for the 5K run at dusk on Saturday, when Zuzu herself, Carolyn Grimes, signals the start by saying, "Every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings." Let's have another great It's a Wonderful Life celebration, shall we? And that's all I have time for this week. I'm Ken Haas, and that's my story for this week.